want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do? Yeah, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, cut that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. You're probably very grateful to have us. Who are we? We, of course, are the bad boys. Oh, damn, okay. Before we begin, we'd love to get to know you, our audience. Let's start with a little hand-raising exercise. If you've had a good time here at DroidCon, I was going to say Berlin, DroidCon London, just raise your hand. Oh, that's good. Organizers are like, oh my God, thank God. If you've come to London from outside of England, put your hand up. Oh my goodness. Hello, Governor. Hello. That's English. It means hello, Governor. What about some more on-topic questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Android Dev Conference, right? So if you know what Android is, put your left foot high in the air. Left foot high in the air, like this. If you know what Android, this is. All right.
Yeah.
So this was an Android Dev Conference.
Yeah, should be right. Try again.
It's probably just, my bad, right? Sorry, everybody. Let's try a bit of an easier question. If you've ever coded an app, do a backflip. Flip over backwards like this.
Yeah, kind of like, do the second part.
Okay, damn. Well, I think probably most of this is going to go over all of your heads, so just bear with us. So we, as I said, are the bad boys, and we would like to introduce you today to a better way of doing Android development, known as better Android development. Or shorthand, of course, is bad. But we're aware that bad has sort of a negative connotation. It's not bad like in a bad way, it's like bad like street's bad. Like, what's bad, man? That woke you up. Goodness. We did mess around with calling it Supreme Android Development from Android Certified Experts, but for the life of us, we couldn't get a hold of the acronym at all. SADF? ACE?
ACE was nice, but
ACE made sense. SADF is nothing. So bad. Before we begin, we have to address the elephant in the room. There's these two characters, Chet Haas and Roman Guy. They're on the circuit. They're on the talking circuit. They do a sort of talk about modern Android development. It's very funny. It's very important that this talk is not funny at all, and you'll have no fun. So please keep that in mind. And for legal reasons, we've been told that we have to state, we are not them. We are not trying to be them. We are not trying to replace them. So let us introduce ourselves, of course. I obviously am Chet Haas, the superiorly holy intelligence technician. I spend most of my day turning Android devices off and on again.
Yeah, and I am Goman Rhee, the principal optimistic operations prophet. What I do is I go around the company and spread positivity and optimism. And together, we are the world-renowned Android self-certified experts. I want to highlight the self-certified part. And for this, we actually brought our certificates with us for you to see.
Usually we get an applause that bit. I don't understand.
Maybe.
Thanks.
Zoom in. And not only that, but we have the industry-leading over 60 years of combined Android experience. No one comes even close to that. Not even these guys, Chet and Roman. And just want to highlight something before we go any further. They are not certified.
Now, it's very easy for us to come on this stage and preach to you about better Android development, but we'd like to prove it to you by showing you some of our portfolio of the apps that we've created using the better approach. To start with, this is one of my favorite apps. This is called Paint Calculator. It's used to calculate paint, and I don't know how we did this, but we just sold it to Meta for $5 billion.
Yeah. For the second app, we saw that you like online shopping, but don't like complex UI. So that's why we made this app with only one screen, where an AI decides what you're going to buy.
Delicious. This app is actually my favorite. It's called the Happy Time Forums, and it's essentially a list of positive affirmations for Android developers. Fun fact, our designer for this app was constantly high on LSD. So we had to design this app.
And not to brag too much about it, but we were the visionaries behind this amazing social network product that was just way ahead of its time. Google Plus. Still hurts. Right. Before I actually get to the approach, let's summarize let's give you an overview of what it actually means. Generally, it's a collection of some bad tips, some bad decisions, and zero regrets at all. And what this means for you is that your bad apps are going to make you a shit ton of money. You might say, hey, Goman, why do I need money? Well, good, I'm glad you asked. With money, you can buy nice things like computers that look like kitchen utensils, firecrackers that look like smartphones, or you can compensate for something by building a spaceship that looks like it, but bigger. Right. Let's just get into it. Preparing your workspace, setting you up for success. Here we see normal Android developer working from the office. Quite unfortunate. It's so many issues. It's so bright. There are people walking around talking. They might even talk to them. At the end of the day, nothing will get done. So instead of allowing home office, corporate gave us a lot of money to find a solution for this. We, of course, took the money, went to our office, and came up with this. The bad box for bad Android developers. It's simple, it's an elegant solution. You just put your laptop inside, close the lid, and start coding. Amazing success. But somehow there were some collaboration issues, like people weren't talking that much to each other. So we took, again, more corporate money and came up with another solution. We made a second opening on the top. From there, you can actually see what's happening inside, give some advices. It's even, it's quite versatile, but there were some usability issues. Now we had two openings. Which one do you use? We decided to solve this by naming. Name the first one, front door. Quite self-explanatory. But for the second one, the term backdoor wasn't that family-friendly. We wanted a descriptive name. So that's why we just went with a-hole. So versatile. You can actually even go for a more hands-on approach and show something on screen, touch the keyboard, maybe even touch the developer. Like we don't advise the last one. And for those of you who are short-sighted, who cannot see the small font on the screen from that far away, you can actually also get closer to the action by burying your face in the a-hole and having a closer view at it. Right, yeah. We see you already like the box. So I actually brought some with us today. But as we said, we actually have all the money, so we don't need any. So that's why we put a price of one iPhone. Why? We don't really need them. We just want to reduce world suffering, one iPhone at a time.
Good. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, next we need to talk about activities. They, of course, are our bread and butter in the Android development world. You need to know how to interact with them to create a really good app. But there's some bad news. There's some really terrible activities out there in the world that a lot of people are copying from. So let me just expose you to a really bad activity. This is the main activity, KT, from an app called Now in Android. And immediately you can see the problem on the screen. This code snippet is the entire contents of the file. It's not verbose at all. We've got these weird half-completed email addresses at the top as well. We did try to email them, but nobody messaged back. We got this NIA app thing here. That's actually a function, but it lives inside another file entirely. I have to leave this file to understand what that does. And of course, these gray lines here with the little slashes, they are called code commence. And they're an entire waste of space. So that is a terrible activity. Please don't copy that. Of course, this is the bad approach, so we're going to show you a better one. This is a bad activity. Now, immediately you can see the benefit. Everything you need. You can see the entire contents of the file on this. Sort of. I mean, we had to use ellipses because this file is just really big and these screens are really, well, a bit small. But you get the picture. Every variable, every function, everything you need, it's in one file, nice and convenient for you. This actually brings us on to our very first recommendation. In the bad recommendation, we recommend to use the single activity approach, but not how you probably know it. We mean single activity as in, you've got that file, and that's every file you need in your app. Everything goes inside that file. Your repositories, your use cases, your services, your family, everything goes into that file. Single activity approach, you're very welcome. That is obviously a good activity. Life cycle. we have to talk about lifecycle. You probably recognize this diagram from your Google searches when you're trying to understand how on earth to use the activity. Again, bad news. This diagram is categorically wrong, and we reject it entirely. It's in fact missing several of the key, most important lifecycle moments, so of course, we want to do you a favor and tell you the real version. When a mummy and a daddy when an app icon and a finger love each other very much, they spend a night of passionate, unbridled lust, and several months later, the Android operating system gives birth to your app with onCreate. We all know and love that one. The ones you might not know, following moment is called On Discover Santa Not Real. A very, very traumatic moment for your app, but necessary for the growth and development. Following that, of course, on Take Student Loans, very resource expensive, but again, necessary. And then if your app gets really lucky, it might just hit On Marriage, sort of melding itself to the operating system. Oh, and fun fact, On Marriage can actually be hit multiple times throughout the life cycle. This line denotes the user can now interact with your app, and eventually, when your app becomes tired, old, balding, lazy, and the stress of dealing with a real-world relationship takes its toll, of course, unfortunately, On Divorce gets hit. Sharon takes you to court. She hires a really expensive lawyer, and she takes the kids. Why did you take them, Sharon?
Wait, we talked about this.
Yeah. Goodness. I don't know what's happened here. Eventually, your app will become decrepit, old, and useless to society, and the Android operating system will come along with a meat cleaver, slice it into several thousand tiny pieces, and distribute the corpse back into the ecosystem with On Destroy. But great news for all of us, On Repay Student Loans was never hit. Take that, establishment.
Right. Now with that, we have our single activity. Let's actually put some UI into it. Because Android has so many options, we are going to use the OG notation, which stands for Objectively Gorgeous, to sort of rank them, which one is the better one. We're going to start with the first, Find View by ID, which is like the original way of doing things, the old school. We like to call it Snoop Dogg of Android views. And it has a great benefit of being vintage, which means that hipster developers actually be more attractive to your company. On the other hand, it's also, just because it's vintage, it might deter some other developers, so it's a hit or miss. You decide. The next one, Find View by Butter Knife. It's kind of similar, but it has one core big difference. It's made by the great Jake Wharton.
Praise be the great Wharton!
Yeah, on the other side, it might make your MacBook a bit slower sometimes, but you can always complain to get a better one, so it's not really an issue. Right, Kotlin synthetics. The crowd favorite. Basically, the to-go solution that everybody was using until it was not for some reason. Kind of like Google+. Yeah. On the other side, but that side, there weren't any, right? Like, why would everybody use it otherwise? Yeah, logic.
Yeah.
Right, let's go to data binding next. It had, yeah, Yeah. I don't know how that's not deprecated.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay. Let's go to its cousin, view binding. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Now, view binding. Which we like to call the Pepsi of Android views, because you're only using it because synthetics got deprecated and you couldn't move to compose fast enough. Oh, I know Pepsi. But in the other side, it's actually quite good. It's an easy recommendation from our side. Yeah, and the last one is, of course, compose, something every talk is nowadays about. Some people know how to use it, some others don't, but the great big benefit is, because it's so new, it won't get deprecated anytime the next 6 to 8 weeks. But on the other side, what's happened with XML? Like, we love XML, and now it's gone. Don't worry. We actually have a separate talk, which is composed in XML, but sadly, we couldn't get this venue. So since we're in London, we actually have a separate one, which is 10 Downing Street, which should be free again next week. Just because of privacy reasons, please knock on the door, because there might be a salad dressing inside. Sorry about that.
Couldn't not.
Yeah, it was. Right. Yeah, best solution. Well, it's like your stock portfolio. We advise you to diversify. Why? Because we don't know which one Google will deprecate next. Just avoid data binding. This is not a joke. Just keep this one.
Okay. Oh, goodness. We have to talk about architecture, ladies and gentlemen, because you can't move in the Android development world without getting slapped in the face by some sort of MVVM, MVP, MVC, NLB, MQA, MLB. It's chaos. It's bonkers. There's so many different patterns, and they all have diagrams trying to easily explain it in a visual form. We, of course, have the onion diagram, the lasagna diagram, the pizza diagram, and crowd favorite, the vegetable lasagna diagram. What we're trying to say is that architecture in the Android world is overly complicated, bloated. There's far too many choices, so we, at the Better Android Development Approach, did you all a favor and made the only architecture pattern you will ever need from this day forward. And we're going to introduce it to you today. But before we do, we'd like to take you on a little journey about how we came up with it, because it's kind of a fun story. Myself and Goman here, we wrote the word bad on a whiteboard. And we thought for a little bit. Then we're like, right, selfie for inspiration. We took a selfie. And we noticed in the reflection of the selfie, we had the word dab. Now, dab wasn't it, but we were getting somewhere. We started talking. Who are we? We're Android developers. Why did we pick this terrible decision of a job career? Why? We just want to live. Live was getting there. And we noticed that if you pronounce live in a slightly different way, you get live. And then we went back to our selfie inspiration, took a selfie again, and we noticed the reverse of live is, of course, evil. And evil was the door that we needed to open. What does it stand for? I'm glad you asked. E, of course, stands for evil, recursive acronym, GNU, we are clever people. V, venue. I, intergalactically. L, located. We sat there, we stared each other dead in the eyes for a good few hours. We're like, what's an evil venue that's intergalactically located? And then bam, it hit us. That's no moon. Ladies and gentlemen, today we unveil Death Star architecture. Death Star architecture has two main benefits over all of the patterns, and they're really important, so please pay attention. Number one, it is, of course, a fully armed and operational battle station, even when destroyed, much like the British government. Meaning that your app can be riddled full of bugs and it's still technically Death Star architecture. Or you can stray as far away as you like from the pattern itself and somehow it's still Death Star architecture. But number 2 point is far more important. It's the whole reason that we invented it. It's a cool-ass name. Sure. Okay, if we need a diagram, obviously you can't enter the architecture game without a diagram, so let's just draw it up really quickly. Of course, we have the presentation layer, which, of course, we've talked about the single activity approach, so everything goes inside of that. We have our data layer, which is repositories, services, databases, and then we have this. This is an exhaust vent that connects your data layer directly to the outside world. Now, you're probably saying, Het, why on earth have you got your data exposed to the outside world? Well, if your app gets a little bit too big, right, gets a little bit too powerful, maybe even a little bit corrupt, one day a rebellion might be knocking on your door being like, excuse me, where's the exhaust vent, right? Alternatively, more pragmatically, you can use this exhaust vent yourself to go in, sprinkle some bugs back into the app to generate more income for yourself. We don't judge. Of course, we have the domain layer, which is like, it's like use cases and shit. Then we have this. This is called Big Gun, and took me far too long to put into this diagram. This is really important. It essentially lets your app always be packing heat. In the case the Android operating system comes along and tries to force a little process death through, it can be like, get back, Android, get out of here! And your app will live forever. We, of course, have the obvious jokes layer. This just looks a little something like this. Hey, Go Man, what software do Jedi use to open their PDF files?
Oh, I don't know, Het. Which one?
Adobe One Kenobi. Everything was fine, and this architecture pattern was working, but then something strange happened. We had an unexpected lawsuit layer that seemed to come out of nowhere. So we got hit with cease and desists and like all manner of legal problems, so we had to change the pattern, the diagram a little bit. So we shrank the things down, made it a bit more simple. We added a second Big Gun KT to bolster our physical defenses as well as our legal defenses. And then there was just a lot of extra space, so we shrank the diagram down a little bit more. We're not entirely sure how it happened, but this was enough to make the lawsuit layer just go away.
Yeah, amazing work. Now we actually have almost everything. Let's actually get some work done. For this, of course, async work. And how it generally works is that as async work bets, you have, it's complicated. A lot can go wrong. So that's why we like to use libraries. So let's go over some that you might know. The first one is, of course, RxJava, which has the great first benefit of writing 10 lines of code in 20.
It was too real for some people.
This actually gives you bragging rights and makes your PM happy. On the other hand, it actually can be combined with FineView by ID and Java for a full nostalgic trip. If you do this, hipster developers actually write your company on LinkedIn. On the other side, we have Kotlin coroutines, which has, strange enough, the opposite first benefit of writing 10 lines of code in 5. This loses your bragging rights, but because we know less code means less bugs, you just have the bugs in your code base. But something more peculiar is that when you use coroutines, it suspends fun during work hours. So we're still not sure why exactly, but with RxJava, you don't have any fun at all in your life, so this is like a net benefit. Right. This doesn't cover all the cases, so that's why we brought some of ours. We're going to start with the directed uniform messaging philosophy, which is for short, DUMP. And since the other already had logos, we already also needed to do one, so that's why we came up with this. And how it works is that you actually start your one activity, create a web view, and load the company's website. It's amazing. Everything is so consistent. But there is one bigger benefit that we're so proud of. There are no more Android bugs. If somebody reports something, just say, oh, yeah, this is happening on web, and they wait for them to fix it. Yeah. This, also net benefit of this, it actually gives you more time to go on Twitter and argue about politics. Right. The other one is the pure async information access, which is also like a really cool ass name, just like that's architecture. And the acronym is also really nice, PAIN. But we wasted all our creativity on the name. So we just wrote PAIN in Google and came up with this. And how this actually works is that you... Oh yeah.
Brexit. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, we can use Rx, I guess.
They'll be fine with that. Yeah. We have to talk about testing, ladies and gentlemen, and I can hear you all internally groan, but please bear with us. I think you'll like what we came up with. In companies, you'll often have QAs or testers use the phrase shift left. This means that you should shift the testing work backwards up the pipeline to the developers to write more unit tests, integration tests, all that kind of things. We reject this idea entirely and in fact came up with something much better. We recommend only manual testing. We say no, bad QA, bad, sit, no, shift left, shift right, do the work that you're paid to do, sucker. Some people are like, yeah.
Finally.
Now, we know this is a very radical, extreme approach, so we wanted to test it, to prove it to you. So we took one of our clients, and after sprint 5, we switched to the only manual testing approach, and just for good measure, we deleted all current unit tests in the code base as well, just to be safe. We noticed some very positive things. Let me take you through that. 1, the time to finish work for a developer before sprint 5 started about here, and after sprint 5 was pretty much halved. Nice. Something else we noticed, even better, the number of failing unit tests actually showed a very dangerous upward trend before sprint 5. But after sprint 5, it was almost 0. Almost.
Yeah, strange.
We noticed some interesting side effects that we didn't plan on seeing, even more positives for you. Firstly, the number of QAs in your company, number of testers, beforehand started about 18, and after sprint 5, we noticed a steady, continuous, gradual decline. They were leaving the company. You're probably like, heck, that sounds like a bad idea. I say, no, think about it like this. Who finds bugs? Less QAs means they find less bugs, means less bugs in your app. You're very welcome. Also, with all of that extra money that you're not paying to salaries, you can invest in other things that don't generate bugs. And we took a little page out of our adversary's book again, Chet and Roman. They do a talk about if you've got money, you should invest in management. Management don't create bugs. We thought that was a really great idea, so we did that. Just reminder, not certified. The last thing we noticed was quite interesting. We're still investigating how this happened, but we think it's quite incredible. Before Sprint 5, the value of the British pound was great. After the Sprint 5, it plummeted. We did this a couple of weeks ago, and we're still trying to understand how we did that. But you're all very, very welcome, of course.
Right, testers. For the one that actually still hadn't quit, we have a way. Let's just describe who they are. They're those annoying people in a company that always come to you with their bugs. Or maybe like the whole app is broken. Or maybe they just can't get a Tinder date. And they expect you to solve the issues for them. This puts a lot of mental stress in developers and reduces their productivity. So, we are here to actually give you some live demos to show you how you can deter those unwanted peasants. Okay, for the first two demos, Head will play the role of the developer, I will play the role of the tester. Okay, scenario one. Hey, Head, how are you doing?
Hey, go, man. I'm good.
Okay, I'm also good, thanks for asking. I was testing the settings screen, seems to be broken again.
Oh, go, man, look, an eagle.
What? Eagle? You know I can see you. There's 3 sprints behind, you can... fuck this.
And scene. You can see with a very simple run and hide approach, the tester becomes annoyed and eventually leaves you alone.
Now, scenario 2. Hey, Head, how's your dog?
What dog?
What?
Huh?
Huh? Never mind. Settings is broken again. Well, last time you were asleep for 3 days, not waiting.
And scene. You can see with a very simple pretend to be asleep approach, much like the first, the developer becomes agitated and walks away.
Right. And now for scenario 3, we would like to invite a willing member from the audience. Somebody who would like to join us on stage and play the role of the tester by reading from the script.
Just raise your hand. Who would like to do that? Anyone? Maybe in that direction over there? Anyone? No one?
We see someone. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
that's convenient. Okay, please join us on stage if you'd like to. We'll do that side, yeah?
Yeah, go there. Hello, young man. What's your name?
I don't even know anymore.
Okay. Applause for I don't even know anymore. Okay. This is the script. You read what's black and has an arrow to it. Okay, we're going to be over there playing the pair programming, and you're the tester.
Hey guys,
What?
Hey, I don't know
even
anymore.
know.
how are you guys?
We're good.
Chester turns to next page of script. I just wanted to say that you are both so handsome, so smart, so funny, and so modest.
Okay.
Your raw talent is legend, and I humbly worship all that you do. Please have this keynote. It is the greatest thing I have ever seen.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Also, the login screen is fuck. Did you idiots do this?
What?
Round of applause for Chas, everybody.
Applause. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here, you have a gift for you. Please, be careful, there's still a bit of coffee.
See ya.
Yeah,
It's
bye.
our stage now. Yeah. Hashtag life goals.
Okay, where are we?
Yeah, okay. Back to business, please. The last topic. You're probably wondering, why on earth haven't they covered this? This is the most important topic, the biggest problem in the Android development world. Don't worry, I know it, you know it. Of course, I'm talking about evil spirits. Because if you think about it, just be really honest, Android development is a form of demonic torture to yourself. You did this to yourself. Just think about it. What other field of work would constantly give you nice things, really nice things, and then slowly, over time, take them back away from you? Which other field of work would give you the disgusting thing of data binding? Which other field of work would force you to wait arbitrarily long amount of time just to see the fruits of your own labor? And which other field of work would force you to perform a weird ritualistic cleansing process just to carry on working from time to time? And of course, did we mention data binding? So at The Bad Approach, we recommend to cleanse your workspace of these evil spirits as often and frequently as you can. You can do this in a magnitude of different ways. You can put Android minifigures on your desk. You can burn incense to ward off the spirits, or you could hang motivational posters around your working area. All of these work, but we found that one of the best approaches to cleanse your area is by putting pictures of loved ones on your desk, and specifically family members. So, of course, myself and Goman, we put photos of our family on our desk. But we did find that the best approach for cleansing your area of demonic spirits is by building a religious shrine to the gods of Android development, the great library arbiters and code tutorial folky people. So we built one of those things. This is what our shrine looks like. Of course, let's just point out a couple of things here. Front and center, we have, of course, the great Jakius Wartus. Praise be the great Warten! He alone holds enough power to deter these evil spirits, but we really wanted to bolster this shrine, make it the only shrine you'll ever need. So let's just look at this top row. This top row is insane. From top right, we have, of course, the great magical Vivo. We have the one in all the tutorials. We have the British one, God Save the... King? Too soon. And, of course, we have the one whose name I can't pronounce. These pictures and this shrine... not this shrine. This shrine. When placed next to a machine running Android Studio, it starts to emit a sonic pulse, glows green, and then evaporates and destroys all demonic spirits in the vicinity. You're very welcome. Yes, thank you, thank you.
Right. We almost at the end, so let's summarize what we learned today. If you follow the bad approach, you'll be blessed with the best Play Store reviews. You'll be astounded how you got such good jobs. And you'll become so distinguished, you might even get certified. Might. Oh, hey, Head, what's happening?
Oh, whoa, it spells out.
What?
You missed it. Oh, I missed the timing. Oh, dear. I don't know what that was.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.